You know, I really would like to hear more about your biography, about your parents, about your grandparents. Can you give us a little more family history? Because
Sure.
Your father was your father was a lawyer, your mother was a homemaker. What else can you tell us about them?
They were wonderful people, you know, and they were growing up in an age when a one-income family could actually support a household. And I was fortunate to be, you know, in a suburb that put a lot into its public schools. And I received a terrific education, as did my whole family and just about everybody who grew up in Highland Park, Illinois. And, you know, I think every family should have that opportunity, you know, should be supportable by a one working parent family and actually have a first-class education and the opportunity to go on and have a higher education too. So yeah, I had all those advantages of the 1950s. And my parents were both second generation. Their parents had been immigrants, had come here fleeing the pogroms, the essentially persecution of Jews in Poland and in Russia that was conscripting young boys at age 6, 7, and 8 into the army. So my grandparents were brought over as kids in order to save them from going to war in the Russian army in the very early 1900s. And you know, I was just very fortunate to be a part of that generation.
How did they make their way?
Man, so my grandfather, you know, never went to grade school. He was delivering newspapers and then went into business for himself and worked his way up. My father's...
What was his name?
Israel Wool.
Israel Wool.
Israel Wool, who was a very observant Jew, was an Orthodox Jew. And, you know, I grew up sort of seeing what he did, seeing what my parents did.
What type of business was he in?
He owned property, basically. And early on, my family lived in a building that he owned, and the whole extended family lived there. And he went on to do his investments, and then investments became his thing. My father's family likewise had come over. They both settled in Chicago. And then my father's family went on to move out to LA because my paternal grandfather was a tailor. He made clothes, and eventually he had a clothing factory. Unlike my mother's father, who was not friendly to the labor movement, my father's father was very friendly to the labor movement and really took it to heart and took his workers' welfare as extremely important. So these are the myths that get passed down.
What was his name?
His name was Abe Stein.
Okay, and he had a factory, or?
He had a factory, but then he had a factory in Chicago, and he went to Los Angeles because he got a job in Hollywood, I'm told, designing costumes. So I would love to find a movie that had a credit for him somewhere. I don't know, I haven't seen it yet. That part of the family lore just got lost.
I really appreciated it because I was she graduated from Harvard in 1973. It was driving me crazy.
Well, there you have it.